And we're live. What's up, everyone? I'm Chris from MediaFreshPress.com. This is Nathaniel Brennis from One More Cup of Coffee, and today we've got Megan Anthony with ParenthoodSeriously.com. And we're here to talk about a whole bunch of internet marketing stuff, WordPress, blogging, affiliate marketing, all that fun stuff. So, you guys want to introduce yourselves and talk about what happened this week so far?
Yeah, I'll start. A lot of interesting stuff for me this week. First, if you saw what I was doing on Google Plus yesterday, I posted like progressive pictures. I took a motorcycle trip yesterday so I live in Central California, and then I am still kind of renting a place down here in Southern California, and so I made the trip down here, visited a couple breweries, and my buddy up here is opening up a tap room, and so that's where I just came from. I was almost late, but luckily I made it on time. So I've been doing that, and it's also my 4-year anniversary this month for joining Wealthy Affiliate. So
Yeah, I saw that post.
did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's always crazy every year. Like I forget what's happened in previous years, and I look back on the old posts and it's always kind of nostalgic to see that. I always wonder, though, what do you guys think? Like, I post that stuff, and then I think maybe it's inspiring. Like, I want to inspire the new people. They're like, okay, this is what you can achieve with this. But at the same time, it's like, when a new person sees that, they're like, this guy's doing all this stuff, or he's done all this stuff, I can never do that. It can seem like a big challenge. Do you think it's more encouraging or discouraging to see something like that?
Personally, I think it's pretty encouraging. It encouraged me when I started there. What do you think, Megan?
I would say, coming from a new person's perspective, because I'm pretty new still, it's pretty encouraging. I like reading it. I like reading what other people have done. So
I don't know, maybe I'm just jealous or something. When I see people that post about the amazing stuff they're doing, I'm like, wait a minute, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I think of that? That's not fair. I always think like it's somehow easier for them, and like I somehow have to work harder to do this stuff. Like they're smarter, or they had more opportunities or something. But maybe that's just me.
I think that's kind of natural too, though. I think that comes with everything. But inside Wealthy Affiliate, I feel like there's I don't know what it is about it, but inside Wealthy Affiliate, I just feel like it seems doable. It seems more realistic. I don't know why, because any other forum before, when I read stuff like that, I would have felt overwhelmed by what you're talking about. And even though I still feel it, like when Ryan was doing really good, I was like, man, why the hell didn't I do that good when I started? But it was still encouraging.
Yeah, like Ryan was a great example when he was like, yeah, I'm getting 10,000 visits a day. I was like, wait a minute, weren't you just asking me questions the other day? How is it that you're doing better than me?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I just thought it was funny.
All right. Jay says, happy 4th anniversary.
Thanks, Jay.
All right. So, Megan, you want to tell us about your week? What have you been doing here?
my week is not very exciting, not anywhere near as exciting as his. I restarted my doula training, and that's about it. Took the kids to the zoo. I lead a really boring life.
So the doula training, though, is this kind of goes into what your site is about. You want to explain you explained a little bit to me before we started, but maybe everybody knows, but I didn't. You want to explain it a little bit, and then we can kind of get into your site?
Yeah, a little bit about what the site's about and all that stuff.
So I'm explaining doula training and what the site is about?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, do a segue. Start with doula training and then segue into what your site's about.
So being a doula is basically what you do is you work with mothers who are pregnant is birth doulaing, which is what I'm studying right now. You work with moms who are pregnant, you teach them relaxation techniques, you go with them to their OB/GYN appointments, and you're basically an advocate for them, especially during the birth. Typically you see a doula in a home birth, but they're also in hospital births, and you work with them to make sure that no unnecessary medical interventions are done. So women who use a doula are 80% less likely to have a C-section than those who do not have a doula.
And
Yep.
so, and this goes into what your site is about, because your site is called, again, it's called
Yes.
ParenthoodSeriously.com.
Yes, and we're all about natural attachment and gentle parenting. So part of natural parenting is a natural birth. So you don't want to have unnecessary medical interventions during your birth. So we're intactivists, which is anti-circumcision. We promote breastfeeding, and now my site is focusing, it's honing in on more of a hypnobirth, which is like a hypnosis as a relaxation technique for birth, which also, again, promotes natural birth, water birth, and reduces the rates of cesarean, reduces the rates of epidural.
All good stuff.
Yeah, it's exciting.
You can tell both Chris and I are like, yeah, okay, sure. Birth,
Exactly.
vision, yeah, all right, whatever. Yeah, it's something I don't know too much about, but I mean, everyone's got a niche, you know?
And you're not a big hypnobirth fan? You're not giving hypnobirth right now?
First time I heard it, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying, Chris?
Nothing. I was thinking that it's probably a good niche, and I just saw the picture on Megan's site. So anyway, I guess we should probably get into the review, because right now what we're gonna kind of take a look at Megan's site, talk about maybe some of the things that she could improve upon. Hopefully she's going to tell us a little bit more about like her keywords and maybe a little bit more about the niche. And I know, Nathaniel, you have some stuff that you like to look at when we do this. So I'm going to let you do the screen share whenever you're ready, and I'll blue box you, and then we'll get to it.
Okay. Well, so you're doing the first thing. Sorry, were you done talking about your site? Was there anything else you want to tell us about the general idea?
No. Very good.
Okay, so the first thing that I noticed is that there's a lot going on. So
Yeah.
you've got doula birth, you've got the hypnosis birth, or the doula training, the hypnosis birth, the circumcision, the natural parenting. And then I know you've talked to me about you're also doing like moms making money from home, and I know you've posted a bunch of like random stuff about parenting. So there's a lot going on the site, and I feel like that's good as like maybe a long-term goal, but it's not really obvious when you land on the site. Like Parenthood Seriously. So on the site I see Parenthood Seriously about momming littles. I think you could benefit from having a little bit more obvious about what the site is about and what are the specific themes of your site.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would help you find more of a target audience, because like I know you get a lot of backlash from some of the people that follow you on Facebook. I feel like you get rid of those people that are not into this, because I know this is a hot topic about circumcision or no circumcision or all that stuff. And if you could like get rid of those people and just focus on the people that care about what you're doing, I think you'd be able to talk to your audience more directly and sort of do stuff that would appeal to them and not have to deal with all the negative issues.
Probably. I think part of the problem was this used to be a Blogspot blog that was done by a friend of mine, and I took over it a year ago. So the blog is 2 years old, but I've only been with it for a year. So I've been trying to do like a gentle segue because she was not as forceful about the topic of natural parenting as I have become.
Okay.
So the blog is on WordPress now, though, right?
Yes, blog is on WordPress. That's the first thing I did was purchase the domain, made it self-hosted, moved it to WordPress.
Wow. Was that a lot of work? I know it's kind of off topic, but I'm just curious. Was there a lot to that? Was it pretty difficult, or?
It wasn't so much work moving everything over. The work was in making sure that all of my links were coded to redirect to the WordPress site. So all the links that had been sent out that were on Blogspot were coded to redirect straight back to the WordPress domain.
Gotcha. So how long ago was it when you moved it from Blogger to WordPress?
Probably 6 months ago, 7 months ago.
So I don't really know much about this, but I would say that you're probably, I mean, I don't know if you got any rankings or not, but did you notice like any drop in traffic? Because I'd say 6 months isn't that long, so you're probably still kind of recovering from that. Is a guess. I really don't know, but
I saw an initial like kind of drop in traffic, but since then I have picked back up, and now it's higher than anything that it ever was when it was on the Blogspot domain.
Wow.
So it used to be 20 to 30 hits a week, and now I'm at probably 40 or 50 a day, which isn't a whole lot, but from where it used to be.
That's good progress. Good start.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm trying to see if it's what it's like showing in search and stuff like that. I mean, it shows.
How often do you post, Megan?
So I try to write every single day, and I post probably 2 or 3 times a week when I remember to hit the publish button.
Okay.
That's pretty good. That's more than I post for sure.
Sometimes I post more. Sometimes I'll go like 2 or 3 weeks without posting.
Yeah, I'm saying June 2nd, and then the previous one was May 12th. Is that
exactly? So, like, I'll post a couple different times, and then I'll just completely stop, and then I'll post again a couple times, and then completely stop.
Okay. Sorry, I think I interrupted you, Chris. Were you saying something?
No, I was just talking about the search. I was just looking at the search results and like Googling parenthood seriously. Just wanted to see what it showed, and it all shows up, right? All the site links are up. But kind of like Nathaniel mentioned, even in the site links, you've got, common breastfeeding stuff, my journey to becoming, and then it's cut off, which I'm assuming is probably the doula post you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Make money, mommy blogging is cut off too. So, and then you got social media page. I guess I could do a screen share on that, just so everybody else can see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so you might be able to, because those are showing up in your site links.
Mm-hmm.
Might want to think about changing the meta title on those.
Okay.
Meta title and meta descriptions. I don't know if your meta description fits in there, because they seem shorter than a regular meta description, but if you change the meta title on there, it might be able to squeeze into those site links. Or like your social media page, I don't know if I would want that in your site links. I know you can remove certain links from your site links so they don't show up, because I think they choose your most popular pages or something like that, or some kind of metric. But it ends up being weird stuff sometimes, like a social media page, because that may be where you direct people. So you can remove that, and then it may put something else in there.
Okay.
So what is this right here? Is this Rebel Mouse or something that you're using to make this page?
No, it's called Twine Social.
That's I mean, I guess that's not a bad idea, really. I just don't know if I would use it here for one of your site links. So, like Nathaniel was saying,
Right.
let's see, you got Facebook. You're not on anything else. Like, you don't have a Google Plus page or Twitter and all that stuff.
I do have a Google Plus page, but Google has dinged me since I took it off of Blogspot.
And is your Pinterest? I know because we were talking about Pinterest before. Is it verified to the site?
No, Pinterest was my own personal Pinterest. I had never set one up for my blog.
Oh.
So when I would pin on my own personal Pinterest, that's where I was getting my traffic from, and that's where I continue to get it from.
Okay. You may want to. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I plan on setting one up for the blog itself.
Yeah, get it verified because that'll at least give you another thing here. I mean, maybe you can take over this whole page. So I want to stop my screen share really quick if I can.
Jay has a comment here. He says you should Google the following site, parenthoodseriously.com, and have a look at the results. Number 2 spot has a register page, which is a 404 page. So I did, and it's true. There's some sort of register. I don't know if it's registering for a WordPress blog or something, but you might want to look into Webmaster Tools and see if you can remove that.
Okay.
Or if you wanted it for something, you should put the page there. I've read that 404s don't really affect the SEO of your site, but it's a page that's getting registered in Google, and so people are searching for Parenthood Seriously. It's something that might turn up.
Yeah. I don't see that page nowhere. Which page is that? Where is it at?
If you do site quotes, here, I'll do a screen share.
Yeah, I mean, I've got it up here. I just didn't see the page.
Should be the number 2 result.
Oh. Oh, yeah, okay, I see it now.
So it looks like maybe how WordPress by default, it asks people to register to make comments or something like that. I think it might be that page, or it may be a plugin or something. I don't really know what that's from.
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and start the screen share on your end so I can move the blue box back and forth when I need to? It's hard to do that if I do the screen share too.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay, we'll go to the home page here.
Yeah, go to the homepage. So, let's talk about this. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, great picture, but the see, other than it, never mind. It's a copyrighted picture. It's got a watermark on it. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I talked her into changing the picture before we started, so it's my fault.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, you should definitely remove that. That's could cause you some trouble.
I actually have a link to it. I bought the picture.
You bought it,
I bought it.
so it shouldn't have a watermark on it after you buy it.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought, but I bought it, and that was the download link they gave me.
Oh, yeah, you definitely need to get in touch with them.
Oh well. I'm not concerned about it. It's probably going to leave as soon as this is over.
The other thing is that you probably shouldn't have it link to the image, because people are going to want to click it and it just links them to nowhere. I see this one is linked as well, it looks like. Yeah. So yeah, you're going to want to remove those image links, and make sure you have permission to use Or if you do have permission, make sure you get the. What's happening?
I turned you up a little bit. I didn't realize it was going to do
Sorry,
it.
I'm starting to mumble again. Yeah, yeah. Just make sure you get the watermark off of there, and then remove the links. Is what I was saying. Okay, were you gonna say something, Chris?
No, I was just going to say that's one of the things I see a lot when bloggers, kind of when they upload images. One of the first things you want to do is I think there's a few options there, but as soon as you upload it, when I think it asks image URL or attachment URL, just click none, and then that'll keep it from happening. And I mean, I still do the same thing all the time, but that's the easiest way to just do it. Go ahead and do it right when you upload it.
I hate the way WordPress does that. Why does WordPress do that? Where they have you by default it links to the image. Who wants to link to the image?
I don't know. It doesn't make no sense. It seems like it causes a lot of problems for a lot of people too. I haven't found one person that has a reason for it to default to that. So
yeah, every once in a while, if I have an image with text that I can only fit like a tiny version of it into the blog, and I need it to be an option for people to like blow it up so they can see what the text actually says, then I'll link to a larger version of the image.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, normally it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Did you have any? I want to talk about the menu. I don't know.
That was my next thing too.
Okay. Is there a way that you can shrink it up, or?
That's the way it defaults with the theme that I have. But I just purchased the developer package at Elegant Themes, so I think I'm gonna start doing like a premium theme on here. Kind of make everything look a little bit better. Clean everything up a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It looks like a free theme, and your menu looks like you have way too many menu items, and they're too long. Yeah. So I'm saying, like, you have this 6-word "make money mommy blogging like me." It's an attractive phrase, but it basically takes up half of your menu, and so I would remove the social media page. I would remove disclosure and privacy policy. I would remove competition giveaway. I'd pick like 1 or 2 or 3 main menu items, mm-hmm. and turn it up to 1 to 3 main menu items plus an about me page, and make sure they're super short phrases, because I think that menu is supposed to be 1 line.
Well, that formula feeding page is definitely going. I thought I'd already taken it off of there.
And then, your disclosure and privacy policy can go in the footer or not if you don't have a menu. You can always put it on the sidebar here. Mm-hmm. And anything you want to attract people's attention to, you can always put on the sidebar. And if you really want them to get in there, you can put it on the top of the sidebar in this area on the top right. What does this add here?
It's not an ad. There's a group of us that belong to Momavation, and so the Bookie Boo, it just gets added to your site when you belong to Momavation.
What is Momavation?
Momavation, we promote health, so we talk about GMOs and healthy lifestyle, so the natural parenting automatically falls under the healthy lifestyle, what with the breastfeeding and the intactivism and things like that.
Is there any way you could move that further down on the sidebar?
Probably.
Yeah, if it's not making you money, I would put it somewhere less obvious. And the other thing is these links here are light pink, which kind of goes with your theme, but it's a little bit hard to read. So you can actually change the link color in your code, or if you upgrade to a different theme, then you might not have to worry about it. But it's just something to consider. I also have a site that has super light links, and I haven't changed it yet just because I'm lazy, but it's something to consider.
One of the things I noticed, if you scroll down a little bit, Nathaniel, was the Aweber form. If you go back to Aweber, Megan, you should be able to shrink that up a little bit, so because it's cut off right there. And I know some of them don't shrink up well, but
That one won't shrink up, and I think I'm probably going to end up getting rid of Aweber. I've been having a lot of issues with them, and I'm not a big fan of them at the moment.
yeah, I think that's a pretty popular opinion right now.
Yeah, so I think Aweber and I are parting ways.
Yeah, so just whenever you get rid of them or put another one back there, just make sure it fits in there, because, I mean, you can't see the whole submit button. Or maybe you can move the submit button at least, but so take care of that. Another thing I was wondering about is what about the SEO plug? Because I don't see a sitemap here or none of that stuff, which is another thing. Nathaniel talked about putting your privacy policy in the footer. That's another thing that you could put in the footer, but I don't see one anywhere on your site. Are you running all-in-one SEO or anything like that?
I was for a little while, but I do have a sitemap, and it has been submitted to Google, because when you look on my Google Webmaster Tools, you can see my sitemap. So.
Okay. Well, you may want to think about putting that down in the footer when you move your privacy policy. Let's see.
That's another advantage of having a premium theme, is you have more choices of where you want to put stuff. You got like one or two sidebars, one or two top menus, sometimes a footer menu where you can put a bunch of stuff in there. So that was another thing I was going to say, is that you've had this blog for a while, so I think it makes a lot of sense to upgrade to a premium theme at this point. It'll have better, it'll look more professional and have more options.
Yeah, that was what was holding me back, because I didn't want to do it right away, but now that I've had it for a long time and I plan on continuing it, and now that I'm getting a good amount of traffic off of it and have made some money off of it, I think it's time to move to a premium theme.
Yeah, definitely. One other thing is the widgets you got there. I'm not a big fan of the archive widgets being there. I don't know how anybody else feels about that or what the rule is for it, but I removed those. And you've also got two search widgets, so you may want to think about removing one of those. Because you got one in the top navigation, and then one just above the archive widget.
I got rid of my archive widget for a while, and then I had quite a few moms on my Facebook page complaining because they had posts that they wanted to go back and read, and they weren't sure what the title was, but they knew they had read it like in February. So they would go back and look in February, that type of thing.
I would say that maybe that's the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sidebar space that you're using here, and that you could make that you could like be putting an ad there, or you could be putting really interesting posts there. I think most people that see it are going to be like, I don't know what to read over here. But there may be one or two moms, and you can always just hand them the post that they were looking for. Or if you had a footer, you could put a link in the footer that says, like, visit the archives here, and then have a page with your archives on it. And that way there's just like one tasteful little link, and it doesn't take a bunch of space, but it still gives people access to your previous posts. And also, I don't know about the recent comments. Like, I know a lot of people have them, and it shows that people are commenting on your blog, but I don't know a lot of people that are going to be interested in what other people are saying just based on the title of the blog. It just gives the name and the title of the blog, and it doesn't really say much about what was said. Maybe if it gave a preview or something, people might want to respond to it. I don't know if that's something that's going to have a lot of click-throughs on your sidebar. Okay. So I think you could put something that was more click-worthy, like an image or a list of recent posts, I think would be better than recent comments, or a list of popular pages. I know they have plugins that are like WordPress, what is it? WordPress popular posts, I think you can do, or popular pages or something. And it'll basically calculate what are your most visited pages, and you can put a featured image, and so people just see an image and a title for what are your most popular pages, and then they can click on those.
Okay.
One thing I was going to say about the images too is it, like, with them being on the left side, it like leaves this weird space right there. So I think if it was me, I always like to use like wide images,
Mm-hmm.
just because it kind of takes up the whole spot there, or at least maybe move that one to the right and let some text flow on the left side of it or something like that. And the Amazon ads are kind of the same way. I think they're towards the bottom, but the Amazon ad is like kind of small and it's on the left, and it's right there. So
I'm going to be getting rid of the majority of my Amazon ads. My primary focus is going to be on the birth hypno kits. So.
Okay. So yeah, may want to do the same thing with those, make them wider, or maybe at least on the right side of the page or something like that. I don't know. What do you think about that, Nathaniel, with images being wide or what? Because I know kind of some of yours you put kind of like narrow like that on the right side, but.
No, I mean, I'm on the same page as you with pretty much everything you've said so far. I think the issue with the images is that it looks like they have no alignment. When they're left aligned, the text will wrap around. Or when they're right aligned, that'll have the same effect. So it looks like you're just adding the image in there and putting no alignment. I also like the wider images. Wide images that are not very tall. Sometimes because screenshots are a certain way, I don't really have a choice. But yeah, especially for the top of the post, I would try to find something wide and maybe like 200 pixels tall. If you have to, if you took something on your cell phone like this one and you really want to use it, then I would definitely center it.
Okay.
While we're on the post, same thing with Amazon. I would center it.
Okay.
If you have it. But something you said that I think is good is if you're focusing on one product, I've always found that I've had more success with that. Like my beer site, I haven't made any money on that yet. I have like a bunch of different products. And all my money-making sites are always focused on one main thing that I want to get people to, and that way I can direct a lot of links there, I can improve that page, I can look at the stats, and I can focus on that rather than having, reaching for a bunch of different stuff. That's not always the rule. Like Ryan's site, he did tablets, and he was able to get a decent income from that. And I know a few different people who have like multiple items, and they've made that work for them. So it can work, but I think you need a much higher volume of posting.
I think like the birth hypno kit, shockingly, there's not hardly any competition for it. But there's a ton of searches for birth hypnosis, and especially in the home birth area. So I already rank on page 2 for birth hypnosis kits, and I don't even have an actual full-blown post about it yet.
Then yeah, you should do like a pillar page for your site, and if you have a pillar page on hypnobirths, you could do 10 to 20 different posts on different things about hypnobirths and link all of those posts to this main page.
Okay.
Sorry, Chris. The other thing I'm saying is that there's not a lot of content here. This looks maybe like 300 to 400 words here. So I think you would benefit from having a lot longer posts. Like it looks kind of casual, and maybe just like a personal post just for the birthday. But if you're going to do a review, I would say something over 500 words is going to do a lot better for ranking and also for being informative.
Yeah, like I don't get ranked for that one, but that one has been repinned 30 times. So,
Has it made any sales?
2.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Someone else was talking about pinning and stuff like that in chat and WA the other day, and I mean it's great to have social media activity, but the focus should be like what is that converting to? Is it converting to sales? A lot of people just pin random stuff because they like to look at it.
Right.
So I mean it's great that it was pinned and that it's got some action on the page. But I would still look at what it's telling people. You know, in 300 words, can people really make a decision on whether this is worth their money or not? You know, buying this train set for their kid.
Yeah.
So,
I think a lot of the time I have a hard time with my reviews because it's not like a review I want to necessarily am gung-ho about writing, but I get companies that approach me and they're like, hey, we're going to give you this for a review.
I mean, if people are giving it, I would definitely put in the effort to make it longer and take more pictures. Because if you have access to the product, I think that's one of the main issues a lot of people worry about when they start writing product reviews. They're like, I don't have this product, I can't buy it. How can I convince people that it's worth paying money for? And if you have access to that and can take pictures of it and can prove that you have it and your kids play with it, then I think that's a major advantage for you.
Yeah. One thing I was going to say about that, as far as the length, I mean, test out different, you know what I mean, when you're writing, test out different lengths of post, you know, see, I mean, you're not going to be able to get a good test if one's really long or something, but, you know, make a few of them that are long and see how people react to them and stuff like that, because this seems like a niche that's pretty hungry for information. I mean, the doula thing alone seems like something people would need to know a lot about, so I'd imagine that it's a pretty hungry niche, and they'd probably devour any amount of content you give them.
Yeah, my doula posts are my most looked at posts.
Yeah, so. Did you have anything else you wanted to add, Nathaniel?
Well, just looking at this review here, so I can see that we've got KidCraft Easel review. I think the title could be a little bit more interesting. Like it's good to have this keyword KidCraft Easel review, but maybe you could add something more like KidCraft Easel review. Is it worth your money? Or my kids review of the KidCraft Easel. Does KidCraft Easel or is KidCraft Easel high quality or something like that? Something that might get a bit more clicks in Google.
Okay.
It's a bit more natural speech. Same thing with the picture and the length of the post. And then at the end here, I don't know if this was added automatically with a plugin, but it says, I'd love for you to take a look at this childbirth hypnosis kit. It's not really relevant to the review.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you'd be better off either not having that here or, you know, if you review a couple different easels, you can link people to like a comparison chart of like price comparison and feature comparison and stuff like that. So this is kind of the thing I was saying where you're hitting on a lot of different points on your blog where someone comes to your blog looking for a painting kit for their kids, and then they're like, oh, this chick wants to hypnotize my kids. You know, they don't know what the heck that is. Some of them might, but it just, you know, it doesn't match up.
One thing about the titles that, because if you go to Nathaniel's blog, One More Cup of Coffee, he does really good with his titles. You know, even though he could just say, you know, blah blah review. One of the things he does is add little stuff like that. But I picked up a trick a while back that may help you writing these kind of titles. And if you go to YouTube, you'll see this happen a lot. So like on your, what is the name of that post again? KidCraft Art Easel. One of the things you can do is use like the main object of the post like the kid basically use that word twice. So like, is the kid craft easel review, is it kid friendly or something like that? So it's kind of a cheat, but it helps you. It gets a question out there, which is kind of what you want in your title, and it makes it kind of easier to create a relevant headline.
Okay.
Jay's got a couple points on here, which I swear I wasn't copying you, Jay. Instead of an archive widget, create an archive page. Okay.
Oh.
We did that. He also says work on your page titles. Okay, we've covered that. Work on your meta descriptions. Covered that. Create another menu and place it in the footer. Covered that. Think about creating a drop-down in your main menu. Oh, that's a good idea. Like in custom menus, if you have a custom menu, you can put more stuff. That way you can have a bunch of stuff in your top menu,
Mm-hmm.
but not have it immediately accessible. And you can have like good menu titles where you're like anti-circumcision and drops down and then has all these posts, and doula drops down and has all these main pages or related stuff. So you can fit a lot of stuff in there.
Okay.
Okay, here's a good point from Jay. Need more internal links. So like think about what your pillar pages are, whether the main points you want to hit on, and then link your posts to them. And if you have these running themes, as you build more posts, you're going to have more opportunities to link. Like, okay, I've talked about this before. Here's a post, or here's more information on this, or even just talking about like natural birth. You can say like, oh, natural birth is so good, blah blah blah. One of the things about natural birth is having a doula, and then you can just link doula to your doula post.
Well, the doula page and the breastfeeding page all have internal links on them, like a bunch of internal links. The breastfeeding page more than the doula page.
Okay, but it's like an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
Was there anything else on that? Was that the last one, Chris?
What do you mean, from Jay?
Yeah.
No, there's one more here. Yeah, I noticed this too. The make money mommy blogging like me.
Yeah.
It shows Nathaniel at top, which is slightly confusing.
I think that was a page that I had made a long time ago.
Yeah, Megan and I tried to do like a cross promotion thing, getting people to sign up for WA and build websites and stuff like that, and it was kind of like two bloggers working together type thing. But yeah, that's a good point, that it should probably have you at the top, and then if you're introducing them to my site, then you can put me at the bottom somewhere.
Okay, that's what I'll do. I'll just switch those two.
I think that was really all I could come up with on there, all that I had wrote down anyway.
I would take off this LinkedIn button. I don't think people are going to be sharing that on LinkedIn.
You wouldn't share a post about cornflakes and circumcision on LinkedIn?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. A lot of stuff there, a lot of ideas for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was pretty good. Like you said, it's probably going to be a lot better when you get to a premium thing. You'll have a lot more options, but there's always stuff you can do, no matter what. I don't think anybody's site's ever going to be perfect, so there's always room for improvement. Even just like you said on the internal link, and that's an ongoing thing forever. So there's always more stuff to be done. I know my site is a never-ending battle, so, and that's just to get it to the basics of how it should be.
Yeah, I find that like as I blog more, I'm kind of like I always have to talk about this. Like when I was doing stuff on binary options, I was just doing review after review on binary options products, and it's like fine, I'll create like a central post on binary options, and now I can link to it all the time. I don't have to repeat myself.
So you created a central post out of just like Like one of your categories or one of your topics, basically?
Yeah, just a page that I link to often, just because it was like I had to keep covering the same topic over and over every time I reviewed this product. I was like, this is binary options. This is what binary options is. This is why you shouldn't invest in it. Blah blah blah, and it just kept happening over and over. So finally, I made a post on it, and now I don't even have to cover that in the post. I just link that, and then if people want to know more about that, they can go and look at it. But the point I was just making is that a lot of times I look at it as like creating your own resources, and then when it comes up that you need to train someone on that resource, like the doula thing, you can link to it.
So let me ask you this. This is kind of off topic a little bit, but this is something I always question myself on. When you're doing something like that, do you create a page or do you just make a post? I mean, does it really even matter? Because I hear some people say that, you know, if you are going to be linking to a page often or linking to content often, it should be a page, not a post. I don't know. Is it like pages carry some more value to search engines or what the deal is? But what do you think? What did you do?
I do pages just because it makes it easy for me to organize my ideas. But I'm pretty sure I asked about this before, and pretty much everyone said there's no difference between posts and pages. It's all content. The advantage of having a page would be that you can change the page attributes, like you can do a full width page or a landing page or stuff like that, and then it doesn't appear in your blog roll. And then a lot of times you can add it to, it's easier to add to a menu, but I mean you can always customize any of that stuff. You can add a custom link and link to a post. I guess there's a few different like smaller details, you know, differences between posts and pages, but as far as Google looks at it, I think they rank them exactly the same.
Okay. That's kind of a problem I run into, you know. I end up creating a post and I'm like, man, you know, that would have been great to link to all the time, but now it's a post, and so I guess you could just rewrite it. But that was...
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. I would just treat it as a page. Worst case scenario, what you can do is copy the content, put it onto a page, and then redirect the post to the page.
Yeah. All right, we're coming up. Wow, we've got about 10 minutes left, so I don't know if you got any questions, Megan, or anything like that.
No, I think I'm good. It's kind of torn apart there, so I'm good.
That's what's rough about doing these, because you always feel bad saying something like, okay, do that, do this, and that's why I don't put my own site up for these things, because I would not be. I'd be like,
I'm totally fine with it. Nathaniel knows I'm constantly like, what do I need to do for this? What do I need to do for that? I'm fine if you just completely tear it apart. That way I know what I need to do to make it look better.
Yeah, I've been thinking about putting mine up, but there's just no way. I'd have to leave early. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, my other one looks infinitely better than this, and I probably should have done that one for the example.
Well, then we wouldn't have nothing to talk about, though.
It's true.
Yeah, these are all like easy fixes. I mean,
yeah.
Image alignment, replacing widgets, fixing a custom menu. Like, it's not something where you're gonna have to hire someone to code something, or you're gonna have to change format or anything like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Those are like pretty much everything we mentioned would take probably very little time to do all of it.
So. Yeah, especially once I get one of these custom themes up, one of these premium themes up, it'll be much easier to do.
We had like some other stuff we were going to talk about, like WordPress mistakes and stuff like that, but I don't think we really got enough time to get into them this week. One thing I wanted to say, though, is that I'm thinking about starting, like I almost posted about it in the community, and I probably still will, but I'm thinking about, or I have started another blog, and I'm going to try to do it just, by the boot camp and then kind of document every phase of it. We've kind of talked about doing this before, but we haven't done it, so I'm thinking that I'm going to run that kind of as a case study in the community, and every week when we do these, we can take 5 or 10 minutes to talk about the progress or lack thereof that's going on with it. But
sorry, did you say you were going to do a boot camp site?
yeah, I've already started another blog, but I bought the domain and everything. WordPress is on it. That's all I've done. So I'm going to follow the boot camp and do it as a case study in the community. And the point is to try to, to get other people to realize that there's an easy to follow, step-by-step method that can get them to make money. And another thing is that, I feel like it's time for me to go back and look at the basics. But yeah, it's going to be a totally just everything's going to be done by the boot camp rules.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I always like case studies like that. I tried to do one back in the day, which I never finished it, and it never produced the results I wanted because I just wasn't into it.
Yeah.
Like with One More Cup of Coffee, I totally get into the reviews. Like some of these guys, they piss me off, and I end up writing, and that's how I end up with 2,000 words of content. And then I was doing this case study for my YouTube series of like how to start a niche website. I just thought of like a random topic while I was on camera. I was like, okay, chairs, and which I mean technically you could do a niche out of like awesome chairs. So it was a chair website, and I was like reviewing these different chairs. But I would do like one post every couple of weeks, and then I realized I was bored with it. And so then I didn't post for a long time, and then I said like, okay, now I'm really going to do this. I'm really going to prove that I can make money with this site. And I just got busy with other things, and it never panned out. So luckily, I mean, for that, most people don't put 2 and 2 together, and they don't investigate. Now the domain has expired and whatnot. But yeah, I will be making sure you follow through with this, Chris, because I want to see the results.
Okay.
Speaking of stuff you need to worry about, Jay says, Chris, I will hot seat your site next time.
Damn it. I should Man, fine.
So
I'm gonna put what's that plugin they put up where you can I forget what it is. It's like where they block it though the site is being worked on.
Yeah. It's funny. A lot of people like those. A lot of people like having like an under construction thing on their site, and I mean for when they're working on it. I think a lot of people envision like a launch date for a site. They're like, okay, the site's live, press release. Now you can let the floodgates open for all the traffic that want to come visit my site. And some people, some guys that I talk to, they're like 3-4 months working on their site, and they're like, yeah, I think the launch date will come pretty soon. You know, I've got 20 pages and I've got 30 posts in the queue, and I'm going to launch it pretty soon. And I'm like, you're wasting time. That could have been like time spent building authority in Google. And they're like, yeah, I don't want someone to come to my site and see that it's not finished. And usually I'm not able to convince them otherwise. But
I've got a guy I'm working with right now. He's the same way. He's got this big launch date in his mind, and like it's all blocked off, and it's hard to do that, man. I can't, working on the site with him and putting out content and stuff like that for him, and it's really, I'm impatient. I mean, the day I buy my domain name is the day that site goes live or launched or whatever you want to call it.
yep.
Let's get Randy left a comment here too. I think he's talking about your post in WA. He says it's totally more encouraging. Just got done reading it. We were talking about your WA post.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to know. Oh, by the way, Randy, I'm in Riverside, so I'm going to be running around this weekend, but I'll see if I can find some time next week and we can go for coffee.
I'm grabbing her link for anybody that wants to take a look at it. Go visit parenthoodseriously.com. I'll drop it in the event page when we get done here. And I guess that's about it. We're about out of time.
Yeah, it's good. It's always fun looking at other people's sites. I think a lot of people are really curious about other niches out there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, now they know hypnobirth is a niche.
Now watch about 20 hypnobirth sites pop up.
I know!
That's the downside to these things.
Everybody's going to start hypnobirth sites.
Well, considering we've got thousands and thousands of viewers, you're going to have to step up your game.
I know.
No, not really.
You and Nathan are going to have one, aren't you?
What was that?
I said you both are going to have a hypnobirth site soon, aren't you?
I might.
Yeah, I'm already working on mine. That's what I've been.
All right. Unless you guys got anything to add, we're going to get out of here.
I'm good.
All right. Thanks, Megan, for letting us take a look at your site and for hanging out with us for an hour and putting up with all that crap.
Thanks for completely destroying my site.
No problem.
Anytime.
All right, guys. See you guys next week. Until then, visit mediafreshpress.com, onemoorecupofcoffee.com. Don't forget the hyphen, and parenthoodseriously.com. See you next week.
Bye, guys.